Hi, it's James. Welcome back to the channel. So glad you could be here. Bad news is we're going to have to put off on the Assembly of God story, the denomination. Good news is we've got something huge. And apparently Jonathan and Susie filed for some kind of open rights. Basically, the bottom line is they got footage of the interview that the police did with Rebecca Lamb and her husband JW. And so Jonathan and Rebecca Weiss, Rebecca is obviously Jonathan's sister, they did an interview with the police, and the reason I'm not showing you clips of it is because in the video I saw at the beginning, Julie Royce said that Jonathan and Susie gave Julie Royce and the Royce Report exclusive rights to the video. Now I know that Laura Lynn did a thing on it earlier, and that's her decision whether or not she was going to replay the video. I'm not going to do that out of respect to Julie Royce and her staff, and also out of respect to Jonathan and Susie. If Jonathan and Susie gave exclusive rights to Julie Royce and the Royce Report, I can respect that. I don't need to show you the video. If you want to go look at the video, go ahead. I mean, Julie Royce posted it, her and her staff, they posted it on YouTube. You can do that. What I did was I took notes, and I'm going to comment on those notes because I think there's a theme here that needs to be addressed. And so we're going to go with that. I have 7 things that I saw in the videos. Number one, it confirmed that we're no longer calling him Pete. In the videos, they're referring to Pete as Joshua Brown. We know that Joshua Brown is married to Rebecca Lamb Brown, and that was the person that they used to refer to as Pete. We don't need to worry about that anymore. If Rebecca and JW are referring to him as Joshua, then I guess we can now too. But they said that they had seen Josh forcibly kiss the little lamb on the lips. Now I know her daughter's. I know Jonathan and Susie's daughter's name, but I'm going to, for the sake of this video, refer to her as the little lamb. I mean, from eyewitness account from both Rebecca and JW, he literally would grab her and force affection. That's not good. Number 2, JW saw inappropriate behavior from Josh Brown in the green room. The kissing, the hugging, touching. Technically not illegal. But we're going to get to the problem. Please stick with me throughout the entire video. We're going to get to it. This is all leading. There is a red thread to all these points, connecting all 7 points. Number 3, they confirmed Josh's story that the little girl walked into the bathroom and saw Josh naked. So there's this story that Joshua Brown has been saying that, well, she walked into the bathroom and I was naked. Okay, why didn't you lock the door? Kind of suspicious. But that's gonna go to my point at the end. So, point number 4. Rebecca confirmed that Josh is not allowed at their house. They both said he acts one way in front of Joni and Rachel, or the way Rebecca said was, my mom and my sister. But when we are alone, he is mean to us. Why would you be mean to your own sister-in-law? Doesn't make any sense. Now, Rebecca also flat out said, I think he's a narcissist. That's a direct quote. So, which leads me to point number 5. JW said that he thought Josh and Rachel were nice to Jonathan and Susie because he was next in line. Even they knew. They knew that Jonathan was the heir apparent. That's kind of odd, don't you think? Number 6, the beach house incident. Now, Rebecca was like, well, I was outside when this happened. I was outside. I didn't see anything. But then the interesting thing is she repeats this whole city view, the whole thing that Joni said. Rebecca repeats it. She's like, well, I don't know which side is true. You know, Joni's side version of the story or Jonathan and Susie's side of the story. JW confirms there's two versions of the story. JW also confirmed that Josh did follow Jonathan around and said, I'm sorry, multiple times. And he literally mimicked what Joshua Brown sounded like. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. That whole thing in the exact same way that Jonathan did. And I believe it was during the interview that Joshua and Susie did with Wake Up and Win, the Wake Up and Win podcast. You know, Blaine, or Blaze Foray. So that's crucial because that confirms that part of the story is true. Now, there's a point where JW gets up and he leaves to use the bathroom. Now, granted, he's got this big old mug and he's drinking water, and hey, that's actually a good thing. So give him credit. You should drink more water. Rebecca says that their family has some toxic dysfunctions. Really? Didn't notice. I'm being sarcastic. Yes. But the fact that Rachel is willing to own that, I have to give her kudos for that. And I do respect her for that. In the second interview, they brought a copy of the letter. JW said it was more of a brainstorming thing. It wasn't really a letter. They confirmed once again that Josh and Rachel were close to Jonathan and Susie because they were next in line. Rebecca confirms once again that Joshua forced the little girl to kiss him. Then JW said, Susie told me about the drawings, and we know that sometimes when kids have been mistreated, they tend to draw things out. And I told everybody at the gathering back in April when stuff happened to my daughter that she came home and was drawing things that she should never have seen. So, and a lot of the second interview is going to be verified by the maid, who also verified that as soon as Jonathan and Susie's little girl was told at the beach house to go upstairs and change into her bathing suit, that Joshua Brown literally followed her right up the stairs. Why an adult would need to be in the room with someone else's kid while they're changing. Now, You probably, if you have watched this channel for any length of time, know what the red thread is. I promised you that all 7 of these points would be connected by one very important red thread, and that is boundaries. The consistent pattern that Joshua Brown has is that he lacks boundaries. He forced the little girl to be affectionate with him. He was inappropriate with her in the green room. He didn't lock the door to the bathroom, allegedly. And so even if Josh is telling the truth, he was inappropriate because he didn't lock the door. It's the adult that's supposed to keep boundaries, not the child. The child doesn't know what the grown-up is doing in the bathroom. And if she did walk in on him, it's his job to keep the door locked. Boundaries. Point number 4, talking about how Josh is not allowed at Rebecca and JW's house. Why? Because they have boundaries. They are protecting their children from someone who acts one way in front of Joni and Rachel and acts a completely different way when Joni and Rachel are not in the room. Beach house incident. Nobody cares about the city view. Nobody cares about which view you're looking at outside the windows. Simple fact is, there was a grown man looking at someone else's child who was not dressed. Not okay. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm a married man. I don't kiss anyone on the lips except my wife. Period. I don't care if it's family. I don't care who it is. I don't do that because I love my wife first and foremost. She is the number 1 person in my life. So why is Joshua Brown kissing a little girl on the lips? Boundaries. You know, JW confirming that Josh followed Jonathan around the house, saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. In his mind, I'm sorry is a way of erasing bad behavior. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. The toxic dysfunction? Yeah. Yeah, there's some toxic dysfunction, all right. And a lot of it, I think there's a very key similarity between the Lamb family and the folks at Faith Life Church, Gary and Brenda Cassie. See whether they want to admit it or not. Marcus and Joni spent a lot of time at Daystar. And I'm not saying things happened with Jonathan and his sisters when they were younger. I'm just saying that there was a lot of time when Marcus and Joni were making TV shows when they should have been spending more time with their family. That's why there's dysfunction there. So, bottom line is we're gonna learn more when the interview with the maid comes out. But this interview with Rebecca and JW confirms everything we've learned up until this point about what's going on. I don't trust Joshua Brown as far as I can pick him up and throw him. Here's the hard part. And I know that the vast majority of the people that are watching this video, I know that you want to see justice done. And you're like, well, why doesn't the Colleyville police do something about it? They can't. Not until Jonathan and Susie's daughter speaks up. And you can't pressure a kid to do that. You can't pressure any victim to speak out. They have to feel safe. They have to feel that they're not going to get judged for what happened. You never want to make a victim feel like it was their fault. No. I literally just want to like when they talk about victims of the R word, and they're like, look at the way she was dressed. Shut up. Nobody deserves to have violence inflicted upon them or be forced to do something that they don't want to do. Nobody deserves that. It might take a while, but I'm not going to say her name. I'm just going to refer to her as the little lamb. And I'm asking you to pray about this whole situation. Pray that the little lamb will speak and she will feel safe enough to come forward. And I also pray to God that Rebecca and JW, that God will soften their hearts as well, because they weren't exactly friendly towards Jonathan and Susie in this video. But that's the catch. I told you if you waited until the end, I was going to give you something good. It wasn't just the red thread. It was the simple fact that in spite of kind of antagonistic attitude that Rebecca and JW had or have towards Jonathan and Susie, they still validated everything that Jonathan and Susie have said in previous interviews. That's how we can know that what Jonathan and Susie have said in the past is true. And I can tell you firsthand, after meeting Jonathan Lamb in person, that he is one of the most godly men I've ever met in my entire life. I hope one day that I can actually call him a friend. I would say he's a good acquaintance right now. But I hope one day to call him a friend. And I hope by not showing the video, by respecting that agreement that he made with Julie Royce, that he can see that I am someone that can be trusted. So, this is a very difficult situation. And to all of the people online that want to see justice done, I'm telling you, and I want to give you an encouraging word, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. We have to, and the way we are going to win this battle is going to be on our knees. We have to pray. We have to trust God that we are doing what is right. And my prayer is that all wolves in sheep's clothing get exposed. And that includes Pete. So, anyway, if you are new, please hit like and subscribe. I know this was a very hard video to watch, especially if you are a previous victim of SA. And I want you to know, if I was there right now, I would give you a hug. And I would say, we're going to get through this together. And I would encourage you, if it's been more than a couple years and you're still struggling, that you might consider finding a licensed professional counselor or someone you can talk to. I can only do so much. And thankfully, by reading the books from Dr. Diane Lamberg, I know where the line is as far as what's therapy and what's not. And I'm not a licensed therapist. But if you honestly have been a victim of SA, I would encourage you to get therapy, because they can walk you through the process and help you move from being a victim to being a survivor. So, if you can support the channel at JPW Ministries on PayPal, or you can do a super chat, or you can snail mail. James Paul White, P.O. Box 761, Hewitt, Texas 76643. I know this has been kind of a longer video, but we had a lot of information to put out, and I just want to thank you for your patience. If you can't support the channel, I get it. Please pray for me. Please pray for the other people on YouTube that also do this kind of stuff. People like Laura Lynn, Pastor Ray, Everett from Ohio for Freedom, Robin from Megamaniacs, Julie Royce and her staff. They do an amazing job at the Royce Report. Consider helping them out. Also, don't forget, they are doing the Restore 2026 conference. It's going to be in Dallas. I'm just wondering, I wonder if there's a real possibility of Jonathan and Susie coming back from Montana for that. Who knows? Hopefully by then, the little lamb will be talking, and we'll be celebrating a court, certain somebody going to court on charges. That would be nice. Also, please pray for Dee at the Warburg Watch. Thank God her website's back up. Mike Winger, Alan Parr, Candy on X, Vanessa Johnson, Elizabeth Davis. Please pray for these folks. They're really good people, and they're just trying to expose wolves in sheep's clothing, just like me. So, of course, least you can do is always hit the like button. It does help the channel grow. If you're not getting the videos on a regular basis, don't forget, hit the notification bell. That way, as soon as I post a video, you will get notified about it, and you won't miss a single video. So, I think we should pray. God, I thank you for all that you do in our lives. I pray, God, for Jonathan and Susie, that you will give them wisdom in moving forward. I pray for their little girl, that one day, God, I pray that she will feel safe enough to tell the authorities what happened to her. I pray that you will bring justice to this situation. And God, I pray for, if there are any other victims, if Joshua Brown hurt anyone else, I pray that they too will come forward. God, please be with the victims at Faith Life Church, especially those who have to testify later this month. I pray that you'll give them peace. You'll give them the strength to tell the jury what happened. God, please be with all the victims at IHOP KC and anybody that Joe Campbell hurt. I pray that you will bring justice to that situation as well. Thank you, Lord, for all that you do in our lives, and I praise in Christ's name. Amen. So, thanks for watching. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching all the way through, and I will see you tomorrow.